Hi, I'm Katie and welcome to Katie's English School. Dun, dun, dun. Today we're going to learn 5 collocations that will help you with communicating and are related to communicating. These 5 collocations are for advanced learners. However, if you're intermediate or upper intermediate, you might also enjoy this video. Do you know these 5 collocations? You're not sure? Watch this video and we'll look at ways these collocations can be used in sentences, we'll look at example context, and I'll ask you some questions at the end so you can use these in your own daily conversation. Let's get started. The first phrase we're going to look at today is I wouldn't say no to. I love this phrase and you're going to find out why. Let's look at the example. I wouldn't say no to a nice cup of coffee. I know, it's coffee again, right? This phrase means I would really like. When would we use this? Imagine you're in the office at work and somebody says, I'm just going to the kitchen or I'm just going to the coffee machine. Want anything? I wouldn't say no to a cup of tea or I wouldn't say no to a cup of coffee. You're telling your colleague that what you'd really like them to do for you is make you a cup of tea or make you a cup of coffee. We usually use this for small things like a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. We use this when someone asks us if there's anything we'd like, but we can also use this as a little bit of a hint. Imagine you're sitting in your living room and suddenly you think, oh, I'd really like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. You could say to your partner or maybe your friend, I wouldn't say no to a cup of tea. You're telling your friend that they should get up off the couch, go to the kitchen and make you a cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever it is you want. I'd say that sometimes this works, but usually your friend or your partner just says, go get it yourself. But it's always worth a try. Our next phrase is talking nonsense. He was talking nonsense in the meeting today. I had no idea what he was on about. What they're saying has no meaning and people listening just cannot understand. There are really 2 ways we can use this. The first one is like this example. He was talking nonsense. Maybe his idea was very complicated. Maybe he hadn't done his research or his homework and he was just making everything up. Nobody could understand him. Our second way we use this phrase is when we're maybe really tired. You might say, I'm talking nonsense right now. Maybe I should go to bed. This is when you're so tired, you're just talking a lot of rubbish. And yeah, it's time for you to close those eyes and take a nap. Our next phrase is, don't say a word. This means to keep quiet, keep a secret. There are 2 ways we can use this. First one is in this example. We're having a party for Tom, but don't say a word to him. It's a surprise. We need to keep quiet about this party because Tom doesn't know. We cannot say anything. I took the last chocolate bar, but don't say a word. The second way we use this phrase is in the past tense. Didn't say a word about something. I had no idea it was her birthday. She didn't say a word about it. In this situation, it's more of an individual decision. They didn't want to tell anyone this information. Sometimes we're embarrassed about our birthdays. I'm not. I love birthday presents, but some people are, and so they keep it a secret. Sometimes we keep silent because it's also a very serious situation and we don't want people to know. For example, I had no idea he was leaving. He didn't say a word about it to anyone. Maybe this person had to leave their job because of difficult circumstances. Maybe they were fired, maybe they were asked to leave. Whatever it was, they wanted to keep it quiet and they didn't tell anyone what was happening. Enough secrets. We're now going to move on to break the news. We use this phrase when we want to tell people some news. Often this can be used for sad news, but it can also be for quite exciting news as well. The police broke the sad news to the family. The police maybe had some difficult information to tell the family, and they wanted the family to be the first to know. But sometimes we can use this for happy news. They broke the news to their parents that they're expecting a baby boy. This is obviously a happy example. Many people like to break the news about their pregnancy on Facebook and Instagram with interesting posts where they show little baby shoes and things like this. And the last one I want to talk about today is get the message across. This means to communicate ideas successfully. He got the message across in the meeting. Imagine everyone is sitting around the table and they're listening to someone giving maybe a short presentation or maybe an update on what's happening in the company. And maybe there's going to be some big changes. This person got the message across so everyone understood how important it was to make the changes that were necessary. When we're watching a TED Talk or a presentation and someone's got a really interesting, exciting new idea, it's really important that they get their message across to the audience. I hope you have your answers. I'm going to share my answers with you now. Have you watched any documentary recently that really got the message across? I did watch one documentary that really got the message across, and that was David Attenborough's A Life in Our Planet. He really got the message across about how important it is that we begin to look after the planet, not in 30 years, not in 10 years, not in 1 year, but right now. The changes we make in our lives right now are going to positively impact the planet, and we really need to make those decisions now. The second question was, what wouldn't you say no to right now? I think you all know the answer to this. I wouldn't say no to a cup of coffee. However, I do have a cup of coffee, but yeah, I wouldn't say no to another one. I also wouldn't say no to a holiday in the sun, but that's not possible. I'll stick with coffee. Richard, I wouldn't say no to a coffee right now. So our next one is, think of a time you broke some news to your family. Well, I'm going to focus on some positive news. I got engaged last year. It seems like a long time ago. I broke the news to my brothers over video call because I couldn't see them in person. I didn't need to break the news to my parents because they already knew the plan, because I actually proposed to my fiance. I don't know if you know, but on the 29th of February in the UK, there's a tradition that women can propose. Last year, 2020, there was a 29th of February, and I decided I was going to propose to my fiance. He said yes, have a ring. My parents told me the story of how my dad broke the news about their engagement to my grandparents. Apparently, they were all sitting in the living room at the time, and my dad kind of stood up to make an announcement. The TV was on and my gran was really enjoying the TV show. Every time my dad would say, I've got an announcement to make, my gran would say, hey, can you be quiet over there? I can't hear the TV. and she would turn up the volume on the TV until finally somebody reached over and switched off the TV. Apparently, she was still really upset that she didn't see the end of her TV show. Have you ever had to keep silent about something? I can't think of any secrets I've had to keep recently. I was throwing a surprise party a couple of years ago. My friend organised this. I had had a really rubbish birthday the year before. For this birthday, she had decided that she would do something special for me. I really wanted to go out for dinner, so with a small group of friends, I went out to dinner and it was really lovely. I had a very nice night, but I knew that maybe no one else wanted to do a bigger party, so I was very happy with a small dinner. I was ready to go home to my apartment when my friend said, "Hey, why don't you come round to my apartment and we can continue with a movie or maybe some games?" So I thought, okay, that sounds fun. Went over to her apartment and I opened the door, and inside all of my friends were there, a lot of my colleagues as well, and they all shouted, "Surprise!" And I was so amazed because she hadn't said a word about this to me the whole time we had been together, that day and that evening and during the dinner as well. In fact, the people at the dinner also didn't say a word about it. So yeah, they all managed to keep a secret. Do you have any friends that talk nonsense? Absolutely. I have a lot of friends. I'm not going to name names here because it's YouTube and they might come and find me. I think you'll all have those friends that you can say anything to, and you often have silly conversations that are just total nonsense. That's the end of our video today. I hope you're now able to use those 5 collocations in your own everyday conversations. If you enjoyed this video, remember to click to subscribe, check out my Instagram, my Facebook for next week's phrasal verbs on the environment for Earth Day. Bye!